there, I'm Vicky and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing the September book stats. It's the first time I've done book stats, so bear with me. But I'm looking forward to having you joining me for the ride. So I've decided that I want to have a look at the end of the month at what my favourite ones were, what books I read, what I didn't like, what I bought, what I read, you know, how much I saved. I've become a little bit of a stats ninja, to be honest, so welcome along for the ride. So I've also got a thing about circles ever since I bought this spirograph thing from Hobbycraft. I might actually use the spirograph element at some point. Okay, so back to books. So my favourite book of the month was clearly the Heartstopper one, because I don't know why, I'm now totally addicted. But I want to have read the lot before I watch the Netflix series. So, got a little bit of a way to go. So these bubbles at the bottom, which I'm colour coordinating with the spread that I had at the beginning, is so I can put how much I read, how much was borrowed, and how much was stuff that I owned. Because now I'm trying to really cut down on what books I've got that are in my read and get rid of pile. You know, things that have been, you know, passed to me for a read and they're falling apart and things like that. So because I had 2 weeks off from work this month, I got through 15 books. I'm like, wow. And then 11 of those were library books, so they were borrowed. And then 4 of them were books that came off my read and get rid of. So I'm very happy about that, because then that means that I'm actually slowly starting to unhaul what I've got at home. I'm going to have to do some serious unhauling at some point, but at the moment, you know, unhauling in the natural way by reading and getting rid of it, it just seems to work quite well for me. So we'll carry on with that for the moment, but I will have to do something a bit more brutal later on. So I decided to make a list of all the books that I read in this particular month. I'm getting this list off of my Goodreads because it puts it nicely in order, which is nice. So there's a selection of books. Some of them were young adult, some of them were children's books, some of them were novellas, some of them were non-fiction, some of them were crime. I've kind of tried to be a little bit more outwards thinking about what I'm reading, so I'm not just reading the same stuff over and over and over again. So yeah, this month I've really managed to achieve that, which is amazing. So on the left hand page we're going to have what I've read, what I liked, what I didn't like, and how it pans out. On the right hand page we're getting into serious stats now. So how many books did I buy? Oh, this month I don't think that was too bad, because I literally used my Audible subscription to buy the Slayers audiobook, because I've been seeing the adverts on YouTube and I've just been so intrigued by it, because it was Buffy the Vampire Slayer was something that I grew up with, so it's almost like it's some of the original cast of characters which made me want to look at it. And in the end it was really good. It was very nearly at the top spot. If I hadn't have read Heartstopper, it probably would have been. So with this table, what I'm doing is I'm writing down what I've read and then how much that book would have cost if I hadn't have borrowed it from somewhere else. So yeah, so some months that's going to be really high and sometimes it's going to be really low, depending on whether I read what's in my read and get rid of pile. But this month I borrowed a lot of things off of my local library on BorrowBox, so therefore I saved quite a lot of money across my 15 books, which is really exciting, because we all need to look at how much libraries take precedence in our lives. I mean, I'm a bit biased because I work in one, but yeah, they're a very important commodity, and although, you know, it's not totally up for debate, but it's, you know, why buy books when you can borrow them and save all this money? I mean, I could not have afforded to buy all of those books in 1 month, and, you know, through the joys of a library, I've been able to not only borrow them, read them and enjoy them, but also I haven't got to store them. So, you know, I think we all need to look at that as a positive point. Yes, I've read loads, but I didn't have £100 to spend on books this month. So it's win-win. Anyway, so libraries, you know, do it, people. You know, use your local library. there'll be nice people in there, and they'll be happy to tell you what they're reading, and they'll be happy to help you find what you're looking for. So go for it. So yeah, so literally the only one that I bought was Slayers, because the only place I can get it is Audible. So yeah, then I've decided that I'm going to try out pie charts, because my friend told me how to do pie charts, and he told me months ago, but I didn't really get round to doing it. So now I'm going to try and start doing some pie charts, because I saw on YouTube someone did some really nice pie charts on their reading journal. So I've decided to take a leaf out of their book and try and do my own pie charts, which is going to be interesting because I'm not that good at it. But you know, every time you try something new, you know, you will get better at it. So, you know, at the moment I may not be very good at it. I'm still in my learning pit about it. So, but you know, I can get better and I can learn. So that's what we're going with. So we might see some really dodgy pie charts over the next few months, but slowly they're going to get better, which is very exciting. So the main stats that I am collating is whether it was an ebook, a physical book, or an audio book, and then what age bracket it is. So was it a adult book? Was it a children's book? Was it a young adult book? So yeah. So that's the main things I'm collating. I might get a little bit more daring when we get to New Year and I find that pie charts become a little bit more of a natural thing. But at the moment, I'm just happy plodding and learning as I go. So yeah, we're going to colour in all the parts of the pie chart. You may find that this little dashboard of stats may change over the next few months as I try and work out what the best layout is, because I don't think I'm going to get it right on the first go. I'm going to be very surprised if I get any layout right on the first go. I've also learning that I need to let my pen dry before I suddenly start highlighting words, because they start to run. But you know, it's all a learning process, it's all a learning curve, and the next month I'll know if I remember. It also doesn't do my pen any good if I highlight the pen while it's not dry. So, you know, we live and we learn. So, that's my pie charts done. And I'm also going to colour in the headings, because I just like colouring in headings and I just like colouring things in. Should have waited for the pen to dry. Perfect. And then the only other thing, once I've decorated it, is I didn't have a sticker for my least favourite book. So I'm now popping that in. So that was the poetry book that I was reading. And I've got nothing wrong with Chris Riddell, and I've got nothing wrong with poetry. It's just not my favourite. It's not my favourite thing. Literally, I was colouring in book. I was sorting Book Bingo out. But that's it for this month. This month, folks. I'll see you on the next one.